Hi, I'm Varun Haran. I'm Managing Director for Asia and Middle East with Information Security Media Group. I'm talking about big data analytics in security and how it's transformed the cybersecurity landscape. And it's my pleasure to be speaking with Haiyan Song, who is SVP and General Manager for Security Markets at Splunk. Hi, Haiyan. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My first question would obviously be set some context around this. Big data analytics and security has been around for a while. It's been called different names, but what is the state of the art and where is the technology right now in the market?
This is definitely one of the most exciting areas for cybersecurity, and many reasons is around we live in a digital world. It's getting ever more digitized and everything is online, and or identity is in the data, or business processes represented by data, and in the meantime vulnerability and new attack surfaces in data as well. So the state of art, I think, it's really not only about data management. How do you deal with the explosion of data? How do you really have a way of tame all this variety and different volumes of data? I think it's really lies into how do you apply technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence. How do you introduce things like automation so you can really close the gap between how fast you can detect attacks and how fast you can remediate and really contain the damages. The state of art is really sort of applying human intelligence, applying technology, and apply security research and bring the intersection together.
So, that's fantastic what you just said. And, big data initially, when it was as a technology, it was applied, it was more in the broader IT field for business analytics and things like that. But Splunk has been the forerunner, the market leader in the application and security. So tell me a bit about how big data analytics transforms the way cybersecurity is approached.
So in the world of digital representing everything we do, what we actually set out to do is to say, well, how do you bring all the data together and bring the insights? Sometimes we think, well, there's a lot of data and you can't handle more data. I always joke with my customers. I said, the way to solve a big data problem is with more data. But that more part of the data is not just regular sort of payloads and things. It's really bringing the contextual information together, business context, identity context, asset management, and threat intelligence. So what we really set out to do is to have a technology platform that is very flexible, that you can bring all sorts of data together, have a very powerful analytical engine. You can help use the data to orient so you can really get to the insights, get to the signal, among all the noise. And then on top of that, really bringing the next level, that's the ability to orchestrate and automate a solution, a decision, an action. And that's the machine speed, I think, is the state of art everybody is chasing right now.
Right. So, earlier you mentioned AI, ML, automation. You also now mentioned orchestration. So how does this whole thing come together, including big data analytics? How does the entire canvas look like?
Yeah. So I like to use an analogy in the military terms. People talk about OODA loop. So it stands for observe, orient, decide, and act. So how this all come together is really technology and analytics and data and processes and codifying the human intelligence together so we can power the OODA loop. In military strategy, is whoever can execute that loop fastest wins. In cybersecurity, we need that speed. We need that orientation. We need that process that we can go through to be iteratively learning so we can get better. As you know, security is a never-ending game and it's never going to stay the same. And if we got a better way to solve a problem, there's a new vulnerability, new attack mechanism comes. So it's an ever changing but very exciting and challenging space.
The goalpost keeps moving, like they say. So, what are some best practices for practitioners, for security leaders in organization when they want to achieve what you just said, that edge with the OODA loop? What are some best practices that you can share with them?
I always talk to my customers to say nowadays in the digital world, security strategy has to be built on a very strong data strategy. So I will always recommend people to think about their business, their infrastructure, their identity in the world of data. and think about data platforms. How do you represent, what you care about? Where are the information going to reside? How do you protect those critical information? So security starts with a data strategy. The next thing I would recommend is think about automation as a goal, even though not everybody is ready to do automation today. But if you have that as an end goal, you actually start driving culture changes and process changes, and ultimately you will be able to codify a lot of the processes and devise new processes for better response. So the last one I would say is definitely look at technology in for cloud and others to help you with that process. We have a lot of customers have very good technology and developers, they want to develop everything, and in the new world of cloud computing, in the new world of SaaS, really look for the best technology to help them to solve the problem that is not necessarily their core business, and then apply the resources to solving security problems.
Fantastic. I think one closing question for you would be, what are some exciting developments or announcements that you have in mind from a Splunk perspective as you go forward into 2019?
Yeah, we have been laser focused on really bringing automation, bring orchestration and automation into the space. For the reasons I talked about, they're the foundation to help us apply technologies like AI and others to cybersecurity. So you'll see us at the user conference, which is going to be October, come out and talk a lot about what we're doing around automation or orchestration. And the other part of Splunk's technology around really, giving people the flexibility and access to data all over at wherever the data is. And you'll see us talk about distributed, data fabric search and those type of technologies. That's super exciting.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that insight with us today, Haiyan.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So that was Haiyan Song, who is SVP and General Manager for Security Markets at Splunk. For ISMG, this is Varun Haran. Thank you for watching.